Welcome to Quick Lit Explained. Today, we are diving into Wuthering Heights, Emily Bronte's only novel, a timeless masterpiece of passion, revenge, and haunting love. If you want the complete storyline, key themes, and exam-focused character breakdown, stay tuned till the end. This will cover everything you need. Storyline summary: simple and clear English. The novel begins with a frame story. Mr. Lockwood, a gentleman from London, rents a house called Thrushcross Grange in the Yorkshire moors. Curious about his landlord Heathcliff, Lockwood visits Wuthering Heights, a dark, stormy house nearby. He finds Heathcliff cold and unfriendly, and the household atmosphere is gloomy. After a strange night there, Lockwood becomes ill and asks his housekeeper, Nellie Dean, to tell him the history of Heathcliff and Wuthering Heights. Nellie's narration forms the main story. The tale starts with Mr. Earnshaw, the master of Wuthering Heights, who brings home an orphan boy he found in Liverpool, Heathcliff. Earnshaw raises Heathcliff as his own child, but his son Hindley hates him, while his daughter Catherine becomes deeply attached to Heathcliff. The bond between Catherine and Heathcliff is wild and intense, growing stronger as they roam freely on the moors. After Mr. Earnshaw's death, Hindley becomes master of Wuthering Heights. He treats Heathcliff as a servant and humiliates him, but Catherine continues to love Heathcliff passionately. One day, Catherine stays at Thrushcross Grange, the home of the wealthy Linton family. There, she is introduced to refined manners and begins to desire social status. Catherine loves Heathcliff, but she also wants to marry into wealth and respectability. Finally, she decides to marry Edgar Linton, even though she admits to Nellie that her soul is one with Heathcliff. I am Heathcliff. Heathcliff overhears only part of her confession and, believing she betrayed him, he runs away. Catherine marries Edgar Linton and lives at Thrushcross Grange, but she still longs for Heathcliff. After 3 years, Heathcliff returns as a wealthy man. No one knows how he gained his fortune. Now, he seeks revenge on Hindley, who has become a drunken gambler. Heathcliff lends money to Hindley and eventually takes ownership of Wuthering Heights. Heathcliff also sets his eyes on the next generation. He marries Edgar's sister, Isabella Linton, not out of love, but to hurt Edgar. Isabella suffers in her marriage and later escapes, giving birth to Heathcliff's son, Linton Heathcliff. Meanwhile, Catherine gives birth to her daughter, Cathy Linton, but dies soon after. Heathcliff is devastated and curses her spirit to haunt him forever. His obsession with Catherine's ghost becomes one of the most powerful elements of the novel. The story then shifts to the younger generation. Cathy Linton, Edgar's daughter, Hareton Earnshaw, Hindley's son, and Linton Heathcliff, Heathcliff's weak and sickly son. Heathcliff manipulates them to secure control over both Wuthering Heights and Thrushcross Grange. He forces Cathy to marry his son Linton, but Linton soon dies, leaving Cathy trapped at Wuthering Heights. However, despite Heathcliff's cruelty, love slowly grows between Cathy and Hareton. Cathy teaches Hareton to read, and they begin to develop a tender relationship. Toward the end, Heathcliff becomes restless and haunted by Catherine's memory. He loses interest in revenge, stops eating, and finally dies, seemingly reuniting with Catherine in death. His body is buried next to hers. The novel ends with Cathy and Hareton planning to marry and move to Thrushcross Grange, leaving behind the darkness of Wuthering Heights. Mr. Lockwood, reflecting on the story, imagines Heathcliff and Catherine's restless spirits wandering the moors together. Themes and morals: love and passion. Catherine and Heathcliff's bond shows love as destructive yet eternal. Revenge and hatred. Heathcliff's life becomes consumed by vengeance, which destroys him and others. Class and social status. Catherine's choice between love and social ambition shapes the tragedy. Nature versus civilization. The wild moors symbolize untamed emotions, while Thrushcross Grange represents order and refinement. the cycle of suffering. The older generation's mistakes repeat in the younger, but the new love between Cathy and Hareton suggests hope. Main characters: Heathcliff, dark, brooding orphan who rises to wealth and power but is consumed by revenge and his obsessive love for Catherine. Catherine Earnshaw Linton, passionate, proud, torn between love for Heathcliff and desire for social position. Edgar Linton, gentle, refined husband of Catherine, represents civilization. Isabella Linton, Edgar's sister, forced into a tragic marriage with Heathcliff. Hindley Earnshaw, Catherine's brother, whose cruelty ruins Heathcliff's childhood. Hareton Earnshaw, Hindley's son, initially uneducated but later redeems the Earnshaw legacy. Cathy Linton, Catherine's daughter, strong-willed but compassionate, symbol of renewal. Linton Heathcliff, weak son of Heathcliff and Isabella, manipulated by his father. Nellie Dean, housekeeper and main narrator of the story. Lockwood, outsider and frame narrator through whom we hear the tale. Social picture and analysis. Emily Bronte's novel paints a vivid picture of rural 19th-century England. The class divide between Earnshaws, Lintons, and Heathcliff shows the tension between birth, wealth, and personal ambition. The treatment of Heathcliff also hints at issues of race and otherness, as he is described as dark and foreign. Gender roles are equally important. Catherine struggles between passion and social duty, while Isabella suffers under patriarchy. Most importantly, Wuthering Heights challenges the Victorian ideal of proper love. Instead, it portrays raw emotions, obsession, and the destructive power of revenge, making it one of the most unique novels of its time. Quick recap. Outro. In summary, Wuthering Heights is not just a tragic love story, but a haunting exploration of passion, revenge, and redemption. While Heathcliff and Catherine's obsessive love destroys them, the younger generation's love offers hope and healing. Emily Bronte's masterpiece continues to captivate readers because it speaks to the wild, untamed emotions within us all.